In this tutorial, we will be setting up for dimensioning our architectural floor plan. The first thing I want to do is set up a new layer. So I'm going to go to my New Layers button, and I'm going to either select this button here, which is the star. I can do Alt-N, or I can right-click and select New Layer. And I'm going to name this one A-Dims. And I think I'm going to leave everything else the same. So I'll leave my color as white. My line type is continuous. So everything looks good there. Go ahead and close it. The next thing I want to do then is set up my architectural style. And architectural styles allow us to set up multiple preferences, if you will, for different views or different sizes that I'm going to plot. So to do that, I want to go to my Annotate tab. I want to come down here to this little button that's right on the corner of our Dimensions box. And when I click that button, I get the Dimension Style Manager. You can see it automatically defaults to Standard. I want to create a new one, so I'm going to select New. And it's going to be based on the standard. I don't have anything there. But if I already had something set up and I wanted to make a new style that only had a couple of changes, then I could select that style as the starting point. So I'm going to call this one Arch 48. So architectural meaning, or arch meaning architectural. And 48 I'll talk about in just a minute. So I'm going to click Continue. And when I do this, I get a dialog box that has all kinds of tabs with various information to set up my dimensions. I typically like to start with the second tab, which is symbols and arrows. The first thing I'm going to select is my arrowhead. So I'm going to click my drop down, and you can see that there are over a dozen types of arrowheads that I could choose from. But being an architectural plan, I'm going to select architectural tick, and that automatically defaults the second one to architectural tick. In AutoCAD, I could have the second one different from the first. My arrowhead size, or in this case my tick size, I'm going to make as a 1/16 of an inch. And you notice as I do that, this box over here on the right hand side shows you what you're updating. So if you're not quite sure what something does, my advice is to be extreme, and then you'll be able to see what changes are happening. So I'm going to select a 1/16 of an inch. Mark is a 1/16 for my center marks, and I'm going to make that a 1/16 of an inch as well. Now I'm ready for my Lines tab, so I select Lines. And the first one is my Extend Beyond Ticks. I'm going to make that a 1/16 of an inch. Now if this is grayed out, it means that you haven't selected architectural tick. So I'm going to select that one is a 1/16. My baseline spacing I'll make a 1/16 as well. Under extension lines, my extend beyond my dimension lines, I'm going to make 3/16, so that's set. My offset from origin, in this case my walls or doors, my objects, I'm going to make 3/16 as well. The next one I want to go to my text tab. My text height I'm going to make an 1/8 of an inch. Now I could check over here on my text style. If I click the three dot button, I want to make sure to use a font that is easy to read. Again, think of your end user. So you have a contractor that has the plans on the hood of the truck, and there's mud and dirt and dust. You want to make sure that that individual can read your plans. Arial is typically a good default for that. So that's set to Arial. I don't need to do anything. I'm going to click Cancel. For my text alignment, I want to select Aligned with Dimension Line. And my placement over here, my offset from a dimension line being 3/32 of an inch. So that's all set. The next tab then is Fit. And for my text placement, I do want to have a dimension with a leader if it's too small. And I typically never use annotative. Annotative is an AutoCAD feature that automatically scales dimension based on how you plot. However, I'm going to be using the overall scale value because I'm going to plot everything at 1/4 of an inch. For this drawing, I need to know how many times 1/4 of an inch goes into 1 foot. In that case, it is 48. And then for fine tuning, I want to select draw dimension line between extension lines. And then the final tab that we're going to use to set up for architectural drawing is primary units. So even though I've drawn my drawing in feet and inches, I can select a different format for my units if I wanted to. So I'm going to select architectural. My precision, you notice I can get extremely precise, but for general construction, a 1/16 is just fine. I'm going to uncheck my 0 feet and 0 inch suppression. Angular dimensions I'm going to leave as decimal degrees. I'm going to click OK. And then the last step I need to make is to select Arch 48 and set current. And then close. And now as I go to dimension, when I click my dimension button, it's automatically set to Arch 48. If I have multiple styles, those would all be listed here. But I'm going to stick with Arch 48 because I'm going to print everything at 1/4 of an inch. And that's how to set up your architectural dimension styles in AutoCAD.